Joining the podcast is Evan Reifert, Tampa Bay Rays pitcher who is off an incredible season in Double A with a 1.6 ERA, 65 strikeouts through 41 innings pitched. Evan, what's going on, man? Tell me about your offseason.
Hey Skylar, yeah, doing well. Yeah, coming off a good year here, just kind of digging into the off season here now. Got my tonsils removed. That's kind of been the highlight so far of my off season. But yeah, kind of getting back into the swing of things here now, and getting back into some training here, and hitting the ground running. So
You had an incredible season this past year, as I mentioned your stats. What do you think were the keys to success for you personally?
yeah, I mean, I think consistency was the biggest thing. All year, just kind of staying on top of the little things, and staying on top of mobility. The prep work. Just kind of all the little things that kind of go into baseball that are kind of behind the scenes are really kind of what kept me, centered in what I was doing. And, again, just staying consistent with all that. And, again, letting the competitive nature of myself take over once I got out on the field. And, the rest is set in stone.
You guys met the Barons in the championship game in the Southern League this year. You guys both won the first half. The Barons ultimately went on to win the league, but I thought you guys had the most stacked roster throughout the league with, Connor and Xavier and Chandler. Just thinking
Yeah.
back on this season, what sticks out to you the most?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We had one of the most stacked double A rosters, I would say, you know, ever, truly. I mean, we had probably 10 or maybe a little more than 10 of our top 30 prospects with the Rays. And again, just the environment we had and the culture we had with our whole team was just incredible. Great staff and kept things light, kept the vibes really high. And obviously a lot of us too had kind of played with each other the last couple of years as well. So I mean we all were very familiar with each other. There really wasn't many growing pains throughout the year. So it just kind of we hit the ground running and had a great year. It was a lot of fun, looking back at it now.
Well, speaking of the Barons and the Biscuits, you guys met at Rickwood this past June and played.
Yeah.
What was that like, man, to be a part of such a special occasion and take the field where, over 200 Hall of Famers like Babe Ruth and Willie Mays played?
Yeah, dude. I mean, to say the moment was surreal, it was crazy. Stepping out on that field, obviously, MLB did a lot to do with that, and getting the field all dressed up for us, and then also, the major league teams that played there. And dude, it was so much fun just playing there and just getting to experience all the history and take it all in. Again, to give me chills right now just thinking about it. Just the moment and the history behind everything there. It's crazy to think about. So
Well, we both know that baseball is probably the most statistical based game there is. And being in the clubhouse with you this year, I saw firsthand all the different charts and sheets and everything. But as you personally and as a pitcher, how do you go about scouting the batters that you're about to face?
yeah, obviously again, like you said, we have all the numbers and stuff there. Looking at the batters that we're facing each week. Um, Again, a lot of that, I really just try and keep it simple. I try and keep it as simple as possible, not trying to uh, get too crazy and analytical with it. I think that's kind of I can get myself into a little bit of trouble with some overthinking there. So I just try and dumb things down. And again, yeah, looking at hitters and some of their weaknesses, and just obviously trying to attack the best I can with the best stuff that I have. Obviously, I think I don't say that I try and approach every batter the same, but just trying to pitch to my strengths is really what I'm trying to get at. Is just I've got a good slider, try and pitch off that, and then obviously you got a mid 90s heater as well that I mix in there. So it's just trying to keep the hitters off balance, and again, like you said, just kind of going batter to batter there, pitch to pitch, mixing things up when I need to, and just trying to pick and scratch off some zeros there, really.
Well, kind of playing off of that, I know it can be different for every batter and it can be situational, but what's your
Right.
mindset when you take the mound as far as, the chess game between the batter and the pitcher, maybe throw him two strike fastballs and then hit him with a breaking ball or just try to, play with him. What do you think about that?
Yeah, like you said, it's very situational, and again, coming out as a reliever too, it depends on if there's hitters on or not. But a lot of the time when I'm coming out the gate, if I got a fresh inning, I'm just trying to get weak contact, and again, getting ahead of guys is the biggest thing, and that's what the Rays really preach is, those oh strikes is really what we're trying to get, working ahead of batters. And again, I know I've got a wipeout slider, so I want to throw it as much as possible early and often. So as many strikes as I can get, and then just trying to rack up some Ks there. So like you said, had some really good numbers with Ks this year. So you know that was really what we're shooting for. If nobody's on, or if we really needed a big strikeout in the game too. I know the pitching coach with the staff there with the Biscuits was really looking to me for some of those late game strikeouts if we needed them. So.
Is there ever, a certain time in the count where you really like to throw your slider?
Uh, Again, coming out of relief, I like throwing it 0-0 if I can get land one early. But obviously, yeah, I mean, anytime I've got two strikes, I mean, that's kind of my confidence pitch is just going to that slider, whether it's in zone or out of zone. I had a lot of confidence throwing it, really in any count. So it was, but again, yeah, those 0-0 counts, getting ahead early with it, and then also, yeah, with two strikes, those are the main times I really like throwing it.
How important do you think is it as a pitcher to get ahead in the count early and maybe challenge a batter? Because, I see a lot of times pitchers almost give these batters too much credit and they're not hitting the zone. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. Again, going back to the Rays philosophy, it's like, I mean, they show us all the numbers and the percentages. It's like, I mean, if you're getting ahead of guys, batting average goes way down, compared to if you're behind in count. So it's huge, attacking batters, no matter what their stats are, or, what status they are prospect wise with their teams. Like it's just huge, just attacking batters, getting in the zone early, and then again, expanding it when you get, more strikes and, get those strike to ball pitches late. So it's
Well, man,
huge.
you got a pretty interesting story. You're from Iowa and went JUCO out of high school, got drafted in the 30th round by the Rangers after your first year at North Iowa Area Community College, and then you went to UNC Chapel Hill after being there for 2 years and was only there for a semester before you went to Central Missouri and was only there a short time before COVID kind of shut everything down. What do you think helped you throughout that, um, you know, time of uncertainty and change to keep pushing forward and to not lose faith? How do you think that helped you as a baseball player that period overall?
I mean, it's great, man. Again, college was, a great experience, I think. I mean, I really see a lot of stuff in that in pro ball now. Just with like the difference between high school guys and college guys, you can kind of tell that those guys that went to college, they definitely went through a little bit more. Have a little bit more experience behind them. Seems like they kind of tackle pro ball a little bit better as well. So I think that college time for me was huge. I don't think my college stats were the best, but the learning period, and getting to meet new people, getting to learn a little bit more about, flyos, and getting to learn a little bit more about the metrics of baseball. I really learned a lot of that early, kind of when I was at, North Iowa Area Community College there, at JUCO. You know, Great coaching staff, great players there. And yeah, again, going through, having getting drafted first year, out of college there, freshman year. That was a surprise. Had some good outings, had some bad outings, but overall, it was a great experience to get, drafted and kind of experience that, and what that was like and the process behind that. And ultimately, yeah, going back to college just because I didn't feel like the time was right for me yet, to get into pro ball. And then, yeah, just going through COVID and everything else and just the ups and downs, it was a big learning experience overall from college.
Well, you got your big break, kind of in the summer. You got picked up playing collegiate ball by the Brewers. As you mentioned, you didn't feel the time was right when you got drafted by the Rangers. What made it feel like it was the right time when the Brewers picked you up?
Yeah, I mean, a little funny story behind that. Again, playing with a couple of guys out of Central Missouri there. We had the COVID season, obviously, so it was only like 2.5 months I was there. Um, Yeah, I was planning on coming back and, playing another year of college ball and again was ultimately playing a little summer ball there at the time. So uh, but both my roommates for the next year at Central Missouri both signed as free agents, like same as I did. They both signed free agents. I'm like, dang, I'm kind of out. Both my roommates here now. I don't really have anyone to fill in those spots. So it's like, I guess I'm just gonna sign and go into pro ball. So, and obviously too, I mean, there was a lot more that went into it as well, but that was kind of one of the key factors. Is like, well, I don't have roommates. I kind of need to get into pro ball, I guess. I think that's kind of my deal there. So.
That's funny.
But
Yeah, I guess I'll go play
yeah.
pro. Whatever.
Yeah. But again, obviously there was more to it as well. And like I talked with my agent and again, it was nice to with that COVID period and signing free agent, it's like they only had a select amount of rounds and they just had the 5 rounds. So it was a good experience where it's like, I get to choose who really wanted me as like a player. And at the time it was the Brewers that really wanted me as a pitcher. And I was like, all right, I think I can do this. This is a good time for me to get into pro ball. I've got a team who really wants me. Even though the money wasn't there as far as, they were just capped off at 20,000 for signing bonus with free agents that year in 20. It still just felt right. I mean, it just seemed like the staff that was going to work with me, just everyone there with the Brewers. I mean, really loved my time with the Brewers, and like, it was pretty short, but it was the right time to get into pro ball for me.
That goes into my next question. You were with the Brewers for, what, give or take probably a year and a half. And then you got traded to the Rays for Mike Brasso. Um, what was that like? Was it, were you expecting it? What was the whole process of getting traded? Tell me about that.
Yeah, no, dude, that was crazy. The whole trading process in general is pretty crazy. I think a lot of people are pretty blindsided by it. Just again, you're just kind of going about your business as you do on a normal day. I got traded in the off season, so that I think that made things a little easier transition wise. But still, yeah, it's very blindsiding. I mean, I was going to get pizza for a family, like kind of get together for Thanksgiving. It was right before Thanksgiving. And yeah, got the call and just like, hey, yeah, you actually just got traded to the Rays. Like they'll be in contact with you here. I was like, whoa, I had no idea. Again, coming off my first professional season there in 21 and get traded the next year, it was kind of crazy. I thought I was getting my feet settled with the Brewers, and then obviously again, kind of got to see some of the ins and out of the trades and all that goes on with baseball. So that was a very interesting time. But again, things have really worked out here well, and it's been a good thing. It's been a good thing for me. So.
Well, since you've been through that, how do you think it's helped you help other guys that you see get traded in? Like when you guys were in Birmingham, that's when you guys picked up Paul from the Mets. Um, how do you think, you've kind of been through that and learned how to help new guys that are coming into the clubhouse?
Yeah, for sure. Again, I mean, it's definitely something that's not easy to do. And obviously, yeah, being through that and, getting to see new faces, I think just, a lot of the guys here, especially with the Rays, I mean, we're a good organization, good people. We try and fill our, organization with really good people. And, I think we did that really well. And again, bringing in Paul this year, over from the Mets was a good thing. And, obviously his demeanor anyways, he's, kind of a goofy, uh, big loving guy. So it was a lot of fun just to kind of bring him in and, again, just trying to welcome him into our organization, show him how we did things around the clubhouse. And, again, it was a fairly easy transition for him. So it, made things easy for us as well, just kind of being ourselves. And again, you just added another guy to vibe with us and, in the clubhouse and with the biscuits. So
Yeah, man. I love Paul. He's an awesome guy.
he's a great guy.
Last year you absolutely dominated in the Arizona Fall League and was the best reliever there. What was your favorite memories from the AFL, and who was your most memorable batter you faced?
Yeah, yeah, killed it. Yeah, that was in 22 there. Yeah. So I mean, I missed most of last year, so in 22 I was killing it in the fall league there. It's a great experience. I mean, obviously, yeah, I got to see a lot of prospects there and got to pitch against a lot of people. I think honestly my favorite memory was pitching um in the All-Star game and then also just the other parts of the All-Star game as well, like watching the home run derby. That was that was sweet. Uh, just getting to see all that stuff and, getting to see you guys hit balls like 500 feet. It felt like they were just launching them there just because the air's thinner in Arizona there and balls freaking launch. Those fields are huge. So it was a fun experience there. As far as batters go too, I mean, I'd probably say my two most memorable guys that I faced were both the Cardinals guys. So Jordan Walker, and then also Mason Wynn. Those two guys were fun at bats, tough at bats, but both fun guys to face. So
What was that like for you to be, out there, and it's just baseball, you got other guys just focused on baseball. How much do you think you learned and just enjoyed being around that?
yeah, again, a lot of guys from different organizations. It was fun to kind of see how they did things, and yeah, like you said, you're surrounded by prospects and you're surrounded by other guys, and it's just a great experience, really. I mean, I think it's a little bit more laid back than in season. Again, it's like you're trying to win, but at the same time, it's like you're just you're having fun. You're just out there competing with a bunch of guys and making and forming new relationships. So it's just a great experience there overall. So.
Well, as we wrap this up, man, tell me what you're doing in the off season or something that you're working on, that you feel like will continue your momentum onto a great career.
Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest thing this offseason is just kind of staying on top of the mental side of things. So again, just trying to carry over, doing the little things right here and in the offseason so far. So for me right now, it's just kind of not even baseball related, but just kind of like everyday life, just kind of staying centered. It's just like making my bed, putting clothes away, when I clean them, and just doing little things right. I think that's just something that gives me a good sense of mind that I'm doing the right things. And then again, kind of getting into my baseball training now too. It's just kind of, staying on top of my mobility, my foam rolling, my stretching, all that stuff. Just doing all the little things right. It really gives me a good sense of mind that it's like I'm staying centered. I'm doing the things I need to do. And I think that's really going to carry the momentum going into next year here. So
Well, Evan, man, I really appreciate you talking to me. Keep grinding, man. Keep killing it.
yeah, I will. I appreciate your time, Skylar.